In 2 hours, I have 6 people coming for a dinner party. It's a lovely day, so let's get going. This 3-course Greek-inspired dinner party serves 8 adults and comes in at just under £10 per head, including wine. This menu plan is part of my series Half Price Hosting, where I show you how to throw vibey dinner parties for a fraction of the expected cost. Usually, I would try and avoid fish to keep the price down, but the weather was demanding a lovely fresh menu, so I headed to a fishmonger to secure the best price. When I get home, I sort everything into starter, main and pudding for easy cooking later. Now to start the prep, we are working backwards, starting with the pudding, which is a Greek honey cake. For the base of this, you whip up a basic sponge, but instead of vanilla extract, you use cinnamon. When we add the syrup to this later, we need the cake to be cool, which is why we cook it first. Once the cake is in a greased tin and in the oven, we are going to start on the side for our main course, which is going to be these beautiful potatoes. We are cooking 3 bags of these whole because I think they look best like that. Seasoning with salt, paprika, and garlic powder, as well as a good amount of olive oil, of course. Set aside while we prep some of the mezze for our starter, which is going to be a homemade hummus. You can pretty much add anything to this mix, but it's a chickpea, tahini, and olive oil base. I added salt, lemon, paprika, and za'atar. I also added 2 cloves of peeled raw garlic. With a food processor or a stick blender, blend to your desired consistency, loosening the mix with warm water as required, and pop a lid on for later. Around 35 minutes later, my cake was done, so I popped the potatoes in the oven to slow cook. Whilst they roast, we are going to prep the second side to our main, which is a Greek salad. I like to smash and then chop the cucumbers because I find they absorb flavour really well like that, and I soak my red onion semicircles in ice water to remove some of their potency. I destoned my Kalamata olives and added a simple dressing, which is olive oil, oregano, crumbled feta, and fresh lemon juice. I stirred it all together with clean hands and adjusted to personal preference. Now we move on to the syrup for the honey cake. A jar of honey, sugar, lemon, and water. Stir until dissolved and combined, in the meantime giving your potatoes a shake, and decant the syrup to cool. Now we pause, top up on lippy and perfume, and then we lay the table. Almost everything here is from H&M Home or from Primark, minus the cheeky little napkins, which are Avalon Home. As people arrive, I serve the first bottle of chilled Riesling with some crisps, poke some holes in the cooled cake, and pour over the cooled syrup. It can hold so much syrup, so I did 3 generous pourings. As the finishing step to the starter, I'm going to load up the hummus. You can use almost any nut or seasoning. I did olive oil, hot honey, salt, za'atar, and sumac. With the hummus ready to go, I moved on to the rest of the mezze. I unpackaged the stuffed vine leaves and opened up my halloumi, passing it very dry to get a good sear on each side. Whilst the pan warmed, I prepped my fish. This big side took just 25 minutes to cook, so I'm popping it in just before we bring out starters. Olive oil, a generous amount of salt, parsley, lemon slices, and some crushed garlic all get wrapped up in these little baking paper parcels and cook at 180 degrees for perfectly tender fish. The halloumi goes into the pan and the dips go out, shallow frying in batches and turning halfway. I topped these with more hot honey just because I fancied it. I toasted the pitta bread, and there we have our starters. Stuffed vine leaves, pitta, hummus, and of course our halloumi. I quickly reheated my potatoes. You can do this in the oven too. Topped with flaky salt and chives. After 25 minutes at 180 degrees, my fish was perfectly cooked. You can of course adjust accordingly. I garnished with pepper and then I served. Greek salad, delicious roasted potatoes, and a lovely tender white fish. I served the honey cake with a drizzle more syrup and vanilla ice cream for pudding. We finished up the wine, and that's my 3-course Greek inspired menu.